From Tuesday, and due to the network challenges, we were able to do only 11 applicants.
Well, the Electoral Commission embarked on a crucial 3-day mop-up voter registration exercise from the 1st of August to the 3rd of August. The purpose of the exercise was to include in the voters' roll individuals who recently turned 18 or missed the previous limited voter registration exercise, with a target of registering between 50,000 and 70,000 new voters. The exercise was held in 206 district offices of the EC, 26 public universities, and 4 prison centers nationwide. Today we have Dr. Sriba Kweku. He is with the Electoral Commission. He currently heads the training department of the EC. We'll be exploring the challenges and triumphs of the EC and their latest voter registration drive. Thank you so much for your time here on NewsDesk. Doc, I'm grateful. I'm glad you could make it just in time. Let's start with an overview of the mop-up exercise and how it went. Did you meet your target of getting up to 70,000 people registered on the voters' roll?
Thank you very much. Yes, we went beyond the 70,000.
You did?
Yes, we are putting the figures together, but we are hovering around 90,000.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, how would the EC describe the voter turnout rate this time?
I would say that, like I said, if we went beyond our expectation, then it means that the turnout was high, and it means that everything was put in place to achieve the goal, so that nobody will be disenfranchised.
Now, I'm quite concerned about the online registration system that the EC spoke to us about and the implementation of the system. You did a test run. How effective has it been so far?
I don't know if you follow the mop-up. You realize that there were only few hitches, but it was very good. But let me explain the online. Some people do not appreciate what we meant by the online. The online just means that the system, the BVR and the rest, which is being used to register, are linked to the database. So immediately you put your hands on, the system will communicate and tell us that you are there or you are not there. If you are there, we don't proceed. If you are not there, then we put on. But and that means that every system should be linked to the system, either through our internet connectivity issue, or we use the router to do that. But if it is offline, it means that the system, the BVR, is not linked to anything at all. So it's only when you are finished with that we will then upload the data onto the system. So that's the difference. Because when we talk of online, a friend of mine who was in the US was saying, then if it's offline, why wouldn't I do it in the US? I said, no. You have to be at our office or our facility, which is linked to the database. So
no hitches recorded?
Not at all. Well, once in a while, you realize the system will be a bit down, but within the shortest point, they are put in place and they work. That's why we're able to go beyond our projection.
During the limited voters registration exercise, some of the concerns that came up was using fake Ghana card numbers to register some of the people that came to the voting centers. Now, with this mop-up exercise, did you experience any of such complaints?
I wouldn't say that was fake. It was one of the officers who was using one card to fill form for different people. So, because the system is well composed, immediately you finish the second one, the system will detect that this number has been used. Okay. That's what happened. So the system is that phased the officer out and handed the officer to the police. So it was not the issue that different people were using different, but one person was trying to use one Ghana card to register about 20-something people.
Did you experience such challenges?
No, we did not encounter that. For now, it has not come to my attention, so I would say that we didn't encounter that issue.
Now, the bigger concern of some political parties is how prepared is the EC to organize a free and fair election? From where you sit, how prepared are we?
I would say that we are more than prepared. We are ahead of our time. If you look at 2020, around this time, we were still thinking about the register. Now, we have already printed the 2020, 2023, and 2024 main register. We are left with already the mop-up, which will be printed as a supplement or addition to the main register. So we are ahead of them. We have uploaded our nomination forms onto our system, and people are downloading for them to fill. Previously, we used to give them hard copies in terms of documenting. This time you will go to our website, you download the form, then you fill and you submit. So they are doing that, and the submission date will be between 9th of September to the 13th of September. So we are well ahead of that. And when that happens, we have about 2 months to do the printing, and printing will not take it more than 1 month. So now everything that should be done is being done, and once we finish with the nomination, then we'll go into the printing, and once the printing is done, then we are ready for the election. So I can tell you that more than 2 months, 2 weeks to the election will be set.
Now, I'm quite concerned about the technology you're employing, because when you use technology, you also have to get ready for hiccups. The system might be down. You could have issues with people interfering with the figures, with cybersecurity and whatnot. How prepared are you when it comes to these systems you are employing? Are you putting in place the security measures as well? Have you been liaising with the cybersecurity authority?
I would say that with the exception of the printing, so that the comparison of the register. If you come to the balloting itself, the creation of that, we don't use the internet. And we have our own security system in place. Then we collaborate with the data protection and other securities, cyber security, and so we are on top of the work.
You've started engaging them already?
We have been engaging them for a long time, and we don't have any issue. We have never had any issue in terms of hacking into our register. We have never.
There are also concerns about the EC and the concern from different political parties about the posturing of the EC. Key concern they've raised is about dialogue. With some of these technological advances that you're adding to how you would be running the election, have you engaged some of the political parties to get their input and their thoughts about it?
I don't think now you hear the parties complaining about how things are being done, because we are collaborating and doing everything. And that. But like I said, I still want to say that when we talk of security, it only ends with the registration. Once you have the register, printing of ballot paper, you don't need security. Distribution, we don't. Voting, we don't. The SD cards that we put on the BVD, the BVDs are not linked to any internet facility for anybody to hack onto it. When we finish and we are declaring results, it's the movement of physical paper. We don't transmit results through the net and the rest. So all these security issues are not applicable to our system, with the exception of registration. So once registration is done, we are done with IT in terms of internet connectivity.
Well, we're discussing how prepared the Electoral Commission is to handle the upcoming elections. We have less than 4 months to that. You can share your thoughts with us on our social media handles. We're Joe News on TV. If you have any question you would like the EC to answer, we're ready for you. Now, let's go into the nomination process. So far, you say that the forms are out, people are downloading. Do you have a figure how many people have downloaded the form so far? I know that they'll be filing it in September.
The last time I checked, that should be, I think on Tuesday. With the exception, no, what we were doing is that we have given the codes to the political parties.
Okay.
So if you're a political party, you have one for your presidential and 276 for the parliamentary candidates. But if you are an independent candidate, then we deal with you as individuals. So you have to apply to us and you are given. The last time I checked, 9 independent presidential candidates have requested for the code. In addition to, we have 12 political parties. So I'm talking of the independent presidential candidate. 9 of them had applied. That should be about 3 days ago. For yesterday, I was not at office, and today I've not gone to office. I wouldn't know what has transpired. So it means that everything is working the way we planned for. And the way things are, 2020, we had 12 candidates. So if you have 12 political parties and 9 have already applied for, then we should be expecting to go beyond the 2020 figure.
And this would mean that we'll have a lot of people on our ballot paper. How does the EC plan to deal with that? Because it means you'll be printing more papers for us.
No, the same number of ballot, but that the candidates will be more on the paper. Because the printing of ballot papers depends on the number of voters on the register. But in terms of the candidates, it only increase the number of candidates on the same sheet of paper. So it doesn't mean that you are printing more. Maybe The difference may be that maybe you have to print a bigger ballot paper depending on the number of candidates. But if you apply, you need to be scrutinized, you need to be vetted. So it's only when all these things are done that you can say that these are the number of candidates that we have.
There are concerns about the cost of the filing fee. For presidential candidates, 100,000 cedis. Women and people who are disabled, 75,000
No, who are people with disability, not
okay,
disabled.
people with disability.
Yes.
Why that much?
Okay. If you remember 2020, it was the same fee. 2020.
We're hoping you reduce it.
Oh, no, the economy systems are moving, so rather should have been going up. But because we are sensitive to the part of it, that's why we maintained it. For parliamentary, it has been so since 2016. And the presidential one, that was 100,000 and it has been maintained. And fortunately, we have also been able to give rebate or concession to female candidates and people with disability. So I don't think, for this, I have not heard anybody complain because it was the same level. If 2020 it was 200,000, why will you complain about 2024? So I don't think I've heard anybody complaining about it. But the understanding too is that contesting is about mobilization. You need to mobilize people to support you to do the financing. And I should also add that if you're able to get 25% plus of the presidential votes, everything is given back to you. And 12.5% for the parliamentary, everything is given to you. So if you deposit and you're able to garner the 25% for the presidential and 12.5% for the parliamentary, your money is refunded to you.
Interesting. Let's look at the challenges the EC currently faces as we look up to your preparations towards the elections. What challenges are before you?
So far, we don't have any issues to complain about. I would say that basically we are ahead of, I think I've said that, we are ahead of our projection in terms of preparation and the rest. So we don't have any issue for now. I don't know what will happen tomorrow, but for now, I don't think we have any issue. Because we are getting the cooperation from the political parties, we are getting cooperation from the CSOs, and we are getting cooperation from the media too. So I think now we are ahead of what we are looking for.
Do you have at the top of your head the 9 political parties, the independent candidates that have picked the forms?
No.
Okay.
Somebody's handling that and I was informed. So, and I wouldn't want to put any name here, either because I cannot mention all the 9. So I wouldn't want to put any name here.
Fair point.
But I would say that I know, the popular, at least 2 most popular ones here, don't mention the name. They have already taken it. I said don't mention them. So I know Alan and Shada has taken their form.
Okay,
have taken their forms.
So we're looking forward to that. Now, what's the update? The last time the EC was investigating the conduct of its officials, Dr. Clinton Nyako, when he dropped an envelope on the table of the EC staff. What's the update to that?
With respect to the lost documents, the case is at the court. So
it's at the court.
Yes, they have done the investigation. They've gone to court, and the court is being prosecuted at the court. So
the opposition NDC, they claim that they have the serial numbers for some of the DVDs. Are you worried about that as we look forward to the election?
If they have the BVDs, they can't do anything with it.
They have the serial numbers.
If they have the BVDs, they can't do anything. Let alone claiming to be having the serial numbers. I don't think they have it. But if they have it, they cannot use it because we know a lot of things can happen. So we have also put in place a lot of security measures in place. If I have the BVD, I'm not the one who will have the activation code. Somebody else will have to give it to me. So if you want to beat the system, you need to involve a lot of people to do that, and it will be difficult to do that. Again, if the EC want to cheat the system, why would we steal our own machine when the machines are with us? You get the point. So, and the BVDs, I think with the exception of 2 was stolen during the district level election. The rest were rather broken. They destroyed them. It's not they were taking the BVD, but I don't know if you're referring to the BVR. And the BVR is where they took the laptop.
Yes.
And if you take the laptop, the system is still there. You need to link the laptop to the other equipment in the BVR, and you get your activation code. You have to be biometrically be enrolled onto it before you can use them. Understand? And if you get assuming that you use it to register your own, you need permission through the system before you can upload. And when you're uploading, the IT people will have to give you the go ahead, so they know that it is for Stina who is bringing data from this place and that place. So in addition to that, all the political parties were given the start of day report, end of day report. So you have an idea about the people who are supposed to be on the register. So if you're bringing new names automatically, as I entered here, you know that I'm here. So if somebody else who has not been invited to come here, you will see. So that's how the system works. It's not easy. When you are doing sensitive work like that, you need to put in place a lot of security measures, and they are there. You can relax.
Rate your level of preparedness from a scale of 1 to 10. How prepared is the EC to organize?
I would say 11 because we are beyond what we plan to do. So as I speak to you, if you go to our office, we are doing exhibition from the 20th. The materials are almost all gone. If you go to office, you have that evidence. So we had the register with a section of the mop-up, called the mop-up. So we decided to print the other registers. So 2020, 2023, 2024 have been incorporated into one register. They are gone. So what is left with the mop-up one, which is just about 90,000, which is also being worked on, and they also go. So we are far ahead of today's, I think, 8.
Yeah.
And if the materials are already on the foot, it tells you that we are ahead of them.
Okay, the EC here in the studio showing their thoughts with us, how prepared they are to organize a free and fair election. You're still watching News 6. We'll be back with more. To stay tuned in. So watching News X, and with me in the studio is Dr. Sribo Kweku from the EC. We're discussing how prepared is the EC to organize a free and fair election. He has been giving us updates on the mop-up exercise. As we wrap the conversation with Dr. Sribo, I would like to find out, after the nomination process and the filing of the nomination, what's next?
Thank you. Then once the people have submitted their nomination forms, we will do the vetting and scrutiny of the documents in line with the requirements. For example, the law expects that if you're taking the picture, it should be a full face. Some people want to twist their face and the rest. If that's the case, we ask you to go and bring a new picture. The law expects that the 2 ears should show. So some people with smaller ears, they will even support the ear. So they will show. We will also look at that. You also need to, you have to be a taxpayer. So evidence that you are a taxpayer, you need to bring that. Then you do the statutory declaration. Given that you are Ghanaian, you are for presidential, you are more than 42 years, parliamentary, you are more than 21 years, another issue that you bring in, citizenship and the rest, you do the statutory declaration endorsed by the court. So that in case it turns out that you are lying, then they will take you to court for prosecution. So after all these things have been done, then we'll give you a copy of the form. You are bringing 4 copies. They will give you 1 as your receipt. Then we start the process of printing of the ballot papers. And this is how the printing also goes. Once we've decided that we are printing at Joy News here, we invite the political parties to bring their reps. They invite the police to bring somebody to be there. They invite the national security to be there. Then we ourselves will be there, including the security of the printers. So we all monitor, observe everything. Once they are done, then they are given serial numbers. So we'll badge them according to the serial numbers. For example, Western region, there are, let's say, 100 voters. We give them about 125 voters because we give additional in case of sport and the rest they cater for. So what is the serial number range? Then they are indicated, documented, and copies are given to all the political parties. Then we all decide that Saturday we are moving the ballot papers to Western region. The political parties with their documentation in terms of serial numbers and the rest will be with us. Then we'll bag them into a bag. Then we'll seal them with our seal. At least MPP and DC will also put their seals on them. Then they're put in the truck. We padlock it. They also put their padlocks on. Then the police will escort the truck. And the political parties will also be escorting. So when you go to Secondary Takrade, our regional directors will be there. The Electoral Commission will hand over the documentation to them. Then the parties will also hand over their documentation to their regional reps. Then the ballot papers and the rest are put in the police armory at the regional office. Then the headquarters people from political parties, from the police, from the Electoral Commission will return to Accra. Then the region will have taken over. Then the region also linked with the district offices, the same procedure. So they also come and they approve with the police and with the political parties. They are giving the documentation. Then the ballot papers for them in the bag are also given to them. If they break anything, they will have to receive. Then they do that. Then they are sent to the district police armory. Then they all at the district, they all agree. When are we going to do the packaging for the polling stations? Then that one also. Then everything is done by tracking the serial numbers. So before the voting starts, the political parties are aware that serial number A to Z will be at 14th polling station. So that any other ballot paper outside it is a foreign material. And here, when the voting is going to start, the box is open for people to see. They are sealed. Voting start. When we finish, everything is counted there. I want to say it, and I want to mark today. Don't be surprised that along the line, what happened in 2016, what happened in 2020 will come again. We found some ballot papers there. My advice to anybody is that when you see something like that, report to the police. It's not the media that can investigate. So if it is true that you found a ballot paper, report to the police. Then the police will do the investigation and track whether the ballot papers are those who were sent there, or some people have printed fictitious one. At least I know 2004 I saw one which was fictitious. Yeah. 2020 I saw one that was very popular in Kumasi. You've heard it. That's what I'm saying. So it's not a matter of just saying that you found ballot papers. Some of these things are just done to poo-poo the Electoral Commission's activities and the rest. But if you have evidence, then they report to the police, give them the materials. The police will be able to investigate and track and see where the ballot papers are coming from.
Just some comments from our viewers. This one says that the EC has recognized some flashpoints in the country. How do they plan to ensure effective work in that area? I'm sure he's referring to security plans in areas where you have identified to be flashpoints. This
time around, we have areas which are popular with violence and they are there. But if you ask the police that they should treat every police station as a potential flashpoint. Because if you concentrate on left and you beef up the security there, you leave right, they can go there and cause havoc. So we're saying that they should treat all the polling stations that we are going to use as security threat areas so that we were able to be on top of that, that we will not have any violence.
But have you added an additional list to the existing list of your flashpoints?
Yes, we have our list. We met the police, they also have their list because they also go to the field. So there are areas, if you go to, is it Ahafu, there are some places which have curfews now. So automatically such places should be treated as flashpoints. There are some places which have ethnic conflicts and the rest. So some of these things we may not know, but the security people who are handling such things, they also add. That's why we meet frequently to update them this. So we have the list there, but all other police stations are also being treated as a potential flashpoint.
How many flashpoints do we have currently that the EC has identified?
I can't give the figure.
Okay. This is coming from Freemason. He says that as we look forward to the December polls, concerns have been raised about the figures the EC put out during the limited voters registration exercise. Now, he's concerned, looking at the discrepancies with figures, will such issues arise again? What is the EC doing to ensure that the figures they put out in the December polls are actually true figures? That's going to be...
We've learned our lessons and it will not happen. But I want to say that it is not the figures, but it was the infographics.
Okay.
But the Excel data was correct. But the one who developed the infographics, copy and pasting, had a challenge with those issues. So the figures are such that, and when you come to register, this time the figures are in line with the face and data. So you cannot churn out figures that are not supported with the actual faces. For example, your name, your biodata, everything should be there. So you cannot take that one off, right? So the data that came up was with respect to the one who did the infograph thing that he was copy and paste. For example, in the Upper East, he developed the histogram. I don't know how I can explain that in the histogram, but it was a number of challenges. So the Greater Accra one was higher and the Upper East was like this. But when he was putting the figures on, he repeated the Greater Accra figure for Upper East. So usually the histogram doesn't support that, but the figures were done. So these are, but we have learned our lessons and we are praying that it will not happen again.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sribo, for your time here. Unfortunately, your comments are so much. That's all we can take for this week's episode of News Text. I'm sure we'll get you back in the studio. Yes, we will. So, but sure, because we can see a lot of comments coming on social media, Twitter as well. But unfortunately, we have to go.